Hey guys, it's Akira Zensano or Cardfight Oasis coming at you with a Dimension Police deck profile. So, admittedly, the camera's going to be a bit shaky. I don't have a camera stand. Some shit happened. But, yeah. So, let's start off. So, first grade 3 that we are going to run. Focus, 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 focus. Is Super Dimensional Robo Dayusha. So he is basically your grade 1, not your grade 1, he is your first grade 3 ride that you want to ride. So you want to get into him, and then you want to combo with this guy in your hand. Ultimate Dimensional Robo Great Dayusha. Now, obviously, since it's timed out and everything, you all should know the skills by now. But with Super Dayusha, basically, if it's 35,000 or greater, it gets +1 crit, and that's constant. And then act once per turn, rest any number of rear guards, and this unit gets +10,000 until the end of turn for each rested unit for the cost. That rule confuses me sometimes, so I get confused with a lot of math, but yeah. Uber power. And Ultimate Dayusha's skill is Auto Vanguard. When placed, 3 of your front row units get +10,000 till the end of turn. And his second skill, that's the skill you want to wait for a turn. Hand. At the end of the battle that your grade 3 Vanguard attacked, if that unit is 45,000 or greater and it was not placed this turn, Counterblast 1, ride this card as stand, and it gets +10,000 until the end of that turn. So essentially he gets +30k once he gets placed. So that's some uber power. Now on to the grade 2s. The grade 2 lineup might change, but this is what it is for right now. So we're running, as of right now, 3 Miracle Dandy. He's just good for shield value, because his skill is, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, this unit gets +10,000 shield, which is pretty good, because that's 15k shield that you could use, so that's really good. But my teammates and I were talking about possibly changing this card out for Miracle Cutie to create a sort of a draw engine, but we haven't deck tested it yet, so this is the way the deck's going to stay for now. Okay, next card. So we run 1, 2, 3, 4 Cosmo Beak. His skill is Auto Rearguard. When placed, Counterblast 1, and this unit and one of your Vanguards gets +5 until the end of turn. So basically he boosts himself and he boosts the Vanguard +5, so that's really good. He's a good kind of generic kind of card. And next we have 4 of Dimensional Robo Die Dragon. Die Dragon's pretty cool. He has an act skill on Vanguard or Rearguard. Once per turn, Soul Blast 1, and one of your Vanguards gets +5,000 till the end of turn. Now his continuous skill is pretty cool. If your Vanguard is 3,500 or 35,000 or greater, this unit gets +10,000 power. So essentially by turn 3 or 4, he's already a 20k attacker by himself. So he's really, really good. Alright, now on to the grade 1s. As I said, on the grade 2s, the grade 1s may also change, but this is what we're running for right now. So 3 of the new Commander Laurel. His skill is Act Rearguard once per turn, Counterblast 1, and rest 4 of your Rearguards. Choose one of your units until the end of turn, double its power, and it gets +1 critical. So he's not bad, but I think he's probably better as a 2 of. 3 seems like it's a little bit too much, especially because he is 6,000 attack, which is not a lot, especially when you're dealing with a Force Clan. So him at 2 would be good, and maybe lowering one of the other cards would be better. Next, 3 copies of Dimensional Robo Die Mariner. He's a rare, he's pretty cool. His skill is Auto Rearguard. When placed, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your vanguards, and when your opponent would call a guardian from hand for the battle where that unit attacked during this turn, he or she must call 2 or more at the same time. So basically, this makes your opponent have to guard 2 cards at the same time. You're basically wasting their hand, which is actually a good thing to do, especially like around with OTT. So you activate 1, 2, like all 3 of them, and then you're like guard, 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 and they have no choice to either take it or they have no choice but to guard, and that will completely deplete their hand. Alright, next we have Next we have 4 copies of the beautiful misprint card, Dimensional Robo Die Lander. So we all know how this is supposed to actually look, but my group and I call her Die Lander-chan. Now her skill is pretty cool, probably because it's so annoying to get around. You have to pop this card, at least early game, because it is bull. But continuous rearguard, if your vanguard's power is 30,000 or greater, your opponent cannot intercept. Now, that's not just the vanguard. That is everything. You can't even save your rear guards. So, that is very much annoying. So, 4 of her, definitely. And then, last for the grade 1s, we have 4 copies of Dimensional Robo Die Brave. Die Brave skill is Act, Vanguard, Rearguard, once per turn, Soul Blast 1, and one of your vanguards gets +5 until the end of turn. So he's also used to pump up the vanguard. Auto Rearguard, his second skill, when your vanguard's attack hits a vanguard, put this unit into your soul and you draw a card. So he's also kind of a draw engine. So, we were actually tinkering with this. Maybe, like, we'd lower this one to 3, leave Die Lander-chan at 4 because her skill's too good. And then, like, have Die Mariner at 3, lower Laurel to 2, and then put in a different grade 1. Possibly. It all depends. And now for the grade 0s. So, OVS, our starter, is Dimensional Robo Goyusha, because D-Police has to be a D-Robo. Lol. And now, this is where it gets a little bit different. So we're running 2 and 4 draw triggers. So we're running 6 draw triggers total, and we're running 4 of basically the draw PG, because that's better, more utility in your ones. But this build using this number of draw triggers is really good. You know, it makes the deck go a bit faster. It's not as slow, so that's really good. So obviously, if there's 6 draws and every deck has to contain this, we have 4 heals. Dimensional Robo Go Rescue. Love that card, just because it's so cute. And then we have Oop, one's hiding. 6 critical. So we've ran this deck with this ratio of triggers for a long time, and it's very good. It's very consistent. I would recommend it. Of course, you're always free to do the 4 draw, 8 crit. Or do some weird thing like 5 draw triggers and 7, or 5 draw triggers and like 7 crits or something like that. But this one seems like it's the most balanced way to run the deck. And that's it, guys. So, any suggestions for D-Police, let me know. See if you can, give us some combos that we may or may not use. Give us something to try. Thank you for watching. Oh, and I almost forgot. So, for DP, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 force markers. We're hoping to get more because we don't want to be, you know, short during tournament. But we'll get more. So, I mean, come on, they're like cheap. So, well, if you're not going for the special signed ones or anything. But, yeah. So, 5 force triggers for now, but we will increase them later. Alright. Goodbye from Cardfight Oasis.